The NFL is making another rule change, and
Really?
this is the rule. This one. I thought it was cocaine, wiping it off your nose, but apparently it's the nose wipe celebration. They got rid of this, I think, Smitty, right? Or this? I don't know.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Well, that was years ago. The throat.
Years ago, yeah.
Now it's
20
this.
years ago.
And now it's this one. I don't get it. It says a violent gesture, and they compared it to the throat slash, Steve. They said it's simulating firing or brandishing a gun. Is what the nose wipe is.
Is it?
I don't know, Smitty. Is that a thing? I didn't know that.
I think what's happening is, I don't know how much you guys were paying attention to it. It's more on the hip hop lane or whatever, but this whole YSL, the picture they showed is rapper Young Thug, who was fighting a RICO case all year long before he ended up getting off of it. But basically, like, him and his rap group kind of was the first people who really started doing this nose wipe, and there are people who believe that that's the sign of some sort of killing somebody off. Like, there's people who I've seen mixed stories depending who you talk to on what it actually means, but that was something that got brought up during his case, and actually used examples of athletes like LeBron James, for example, actually during the case doing it and asking them, questioning them on trial, what this means and things like that. So to me, I think the NFL is just trying to be safe, safe than sorry, and not connect to anything that could even be deemed as violent, is how I'm looking at it. So I'm not sure 100% what it means. I think people do it for a while. A lot of athletes do it, rappers do it. I can't say exactly what it means, but that's my take on it.
But Steve, we won't hire full-time refs though still. So,
here's the issue with the full-time ref thing. What do they do for 9 months or 7 months out of the year, though?
Half are lawyers, doctor.
Right.
I know a few.
I don't know if that would make it any better. I really don't. It's a tough game to officiate. They're putting more rules in. Some of the stuff that used to go on that was legal just 10 years ago, they've kind of, no pun intended, moved the goalpost. I don't know if having guys quit their jobs and then suddenly say, oh, I'm a full-time NFL official. I'm not sure that really, maybe it would. Look, getting younger officials that had to have played football, which eliminates a certain gender right off the bat, so that ain't going to work. Maybe that would help, but you'd have to have, and I know they grade them out. They dole out the assignments based on the grading system. But I don't know. I just don't think having a bunch of guys quit their insurance jobs would really improve.
Yeah, here's the thing. A buddy of mine used to be the head of all the referees, and that means college and pro. And his name's Craig Helson.
So Craig,
this is the deal. This is how it kind of works. They usually used to rotate in clinics, Steve, when they were full-time. Like when they're full-time, they do college, they'd cross over and they do arena football or UFL, XFL, or CFL. They would actually work in the offseason. There's always usually a season of some sort of game or professional football being played somewhere. When there wasn't an actual season, which is usually about 2 or 3 months of the year now with UFL, CFL, and Arena League, they would clinic and do cross-clinicking and travel around and do clinics on all the new updated rules, and then they would study biomechanics, Steve, which would not just be a quick fix. You would have to actually understand the addition of 12, 15 pounds of weight, wearing pads and helmet, and how a body can't just stop and not crown the helmet. That's the problem we have, in my opinion, which would fix a lot of that if they actually would understand how the body works at 20 miles an hour. You can't just fucking stop with 12 pounds of gear on. But they don't do it, Steve, and that's the problem I have. They just won't understand that. And then you got guys, Steve, to your point earlier in the year, we're fining college kids and suspending them a half of a game and another half of the other game, and that's a game film for NFLs to evaluate you. And these referees don't lose no money. They don't lose nothing, and it's a wrong call and a targeting call, because simply of biomechanics don't allow your body to do what you think it does.
Yeah, and I think these guys are all now bred to err on the side of safety. And, all these bleeding hearts say, oh, my God, football's so dangerous. As Rudy Hernandez told me about boxing, he said, Steve, I was a boxer. I trained boxers. My whole family fought. We choose to do this. If you don't think we don't understand the risk of what we are doing, you are naive. I would still believe that most football players that played at any level, whether they had to quit after Pop Warner, high school, college, or retire after whatever duration their pro career, I don't think most people actually regret their choice of playing football. I really don't. This whole notion that 90% of the guys that played football don't like the game, that's another one of these talking points or an agenda that they try to push. People know what they're getting into.
Yeah, 100%. We literally signed. I always say this, JB, on the show, but I just got to remind people: we in college, we signed paperwork that says like we know the risk, and one of the risks was it could possibly end in death. Like that's something I remember signing like during training camp. And it is what it is. Like you said, Steve, we knew what we were signing up for. We loved the game for whatever your reason was, whether it was the competition, whether it was what it could potentially bring to you if you make it to the next level, or even if you're just a college guy like myself, what it brought to you to that point of free education, like whatever
Think about this, Smitty. I know so many fighters that say, I'm retired after long careers, made money, they've done well.
Yep.
And then 2 years later, they're like, I need this. I'm going back. There's not a lot of construction workers or coal miners that after they retire, 18 months later, go, honey, I got to grab my pickaxe. I got to go back into that shaft because, God, I miss it. That was 100%. So much fun. No one does that. No one does that. I mean, there's really most people that retire from civilian life.
Yeah.
They want, as soon as they get their gold watch, they're out of here. But there's a lot of boxers that I know. They're like, Steve, I missed it. I didn't know how much I was going to miss it or how I was going to miss it. And I go, well, good luck to you.